Hello Twitch, Artemew here, and today we're trying something new today. We'll be playing Pokemon LeafGreen, a game that I've been really excited to try out for channel for quite a while. Yeah, I'm just going to be taking a break from Insurgents for a while just because it's been an interesting experience, to say the least, but I want to try something a bit more traditional now. All this stuff's not important. Hello there, Professor Oak. Ever get tired of seeing this old man? Very good profession that is. Last time I checked, I am a boy. Call me. Hey. And then this asshole. It's been your rival since you both were babies. Nah. Let's call you Gary. Uphold tradition and all that. That's right, his name is Gary. I mean, I could have named him something dirty, but who wants to see that? Feels good to be playing this again. It's been quite a few years, I want to say, since I last played LeafGreen. First thing I want to do is go to the PC and withdraw this potion. Very good. Also, let's go to options and change that text speed. Nice. Change this up. I like this one. Alright, we're ready to roll. First, the NES, such an old console. I grew up with an SNES myself, so... Right, all boys leave home someday, says so on TV. Oh yes, Professor Oak next door was looking for you. There's a movie on TV, 4 boys are walking on railroad tracks. That's a Stand By Me reference. Pretty good movie. I know, where's that professor? What, it's only hay? Gramps isn't around. How rude. You know what, I think we can make it. Let's go. Hey, wait! Don't go out! It's unsafe! Wild Pokemon live in tall grass. You need your own Pokemon for your protection. You don't want to end up like little Sally. God rest her soul. Geez, someone's impatient. Okay. There are free Pokemon here. Like every Pokemon game, we get our selection of one of free Pokemon to start our journey with. Our options are Bulbasaur, the Grass Poison type, has fairly balanced stats with more of an emphasis on special attack and special defense. It learns mostly grass attacks, as well as pretty good support moves, such as Leech Seed, which can drain opponents' health. Also got Poison Powder to poison enemies, Sleep Powder to put them to sleep. So it's got very nice utility, and has excellent typing for the early stages of the game, so it's a very good Pokemon to start out with. I'm not gonna pick it. Squirtle, a water type, emphasis on defense and special defense, but its offensive stats are pretty good too. It has low speed to compensate, however. It's pretty good early on, gets some very good moves later in the game. Make it just a very solid attacker that can take a lot of hits. I'm not picking you either. Charmander. Quite possibly the most overrated of this trio. But I still have a soft spot for it. High emphasis on speed and attack, with rather low defenses. Typing struggles early on in the game, but later on, it's a pretty formidable fighter, being able to outspeed a lot of opponents, and dish out a lot of damage. I prefer Bulbasaur and Squirtle over Charmander, so I haven't used Charmander a whole lot in recent years. So I figure why not? Want to give you a nickname. Oh, it's a female! That's actually very rare. The starter Pokemon have a 1 in 7 chance of being born female, so that's pretty lucky. So I've been playing a bit of Monster Hunter recently, and the mascot of that series is a fire-breathing dragon called a Rathalos. However, it has a weaker female counterpart, and I think that's going to be her name. We're going to name you Raffian. I'll take this one then. And of course, Gary chooses the one that's super effective against ours. Because he always has to one-up us one way or the other. Alright, let's take a look at Raffi and see what her deal is. Relaxed nature, that is okay. I think it lowers defense or something. Yeah, she's pretty good. Alright, now that's taken care of, let's move on. Wait, hey, let's check out our Pokemon. Come on, I'll take you on. Begin. Gary, what's the battle? For Pete's sake. Never had a Pokemon battle, but I've been battling Pokemon since before you were programmed, Oak. So yeah, combat is pretty easy in this game. Just pick an attack, lowers the opponent's health. When it reaches 0, your opponent faints. Growl deals damage, Growl lowers the opponent's attack stats, so they do weaker damage. Let's off with a Growl since Squirtle's pretty defensive. and it might give Raffian a bit of a hard time. That should lighten the damage that Raffian takes in this fight. Tail Whip lowers defense, so that pretty much cancels out the growl. Oh boy. As long as this thing doesn't go on the offensive, and there it goes. Okay, we're not taking that much damage. One more hit should do it. So that's good. We didn't even have to use that potion we took. Ah, that is good. What? Unbelievable! I picked the wrong Pokémon! I mean, you wouldn't have fared much better if you picked Bulbasaur. Yeah, beating Pokemon gets you experience, which can help level up and strengthen your Pokemon, and you also get money when you beat trainers. And of course, there's his trademark catchphrase, smell you later. So that was a pretty good first battle. Gave us a taste of what Raffian is capable of. And later on this adventure, she's just going to be even better. You definitely want to talk to this guy. And he'll give you a potion, which heals up 20 HP, so it's a good healing item at this stage of the game. Of course, as you walk in tall grass, you encounter some Pokemon, like this Pidgey. It's the normal flying type, shouldn't be much trouble to Raffian. So that went well. We're getting some good experience. This is the Pokemon Center. You can heal up your Pokemon for free here. They're very handy and you definitely want to visit these as much as you can. It's not really a whole lot to do in Viridian City at the moment. If we try going up, there's this guy passed out in the middle of the road. He hasn't had his coffee yet. I absolutely forbid you from going through here! It's private property! In the Japanese version, that guy is drunk. So make of that what you will. But if we go over here, we can get an item. Another potion. Very nice. So the road is blocked off. What are we gonna do? Well, if we go over here into the mart... Hey, you came from Pallet Town? Oh, Professor Oak, right? His order came in. Can I get you to take it to him? And now we have a little side quest. We gotta deliver the parcel to Professor Oak. Luckily, we can avoid going for the tall grass and getting into battles by hopping down these ledges. You can go down ledges, but you can't go up. So they're pretty helpful as shortcuts whenever you want to avoid some battles. And like that, we're already back in Pallet Town. Hey, Oak, here's your shit. Ah, it's the custom Pokeball. It has a gold top and a silver bottom, but it's purely cosmetic. It doesn't really do anything. Oh, right, I have a request for you two. On the left, there's my invention, the Pokédex. It automatically records data on Pokemon you've seen or caught. It's a high-tech encyclopedia. Hey, and Gary, take these with you. Ah, Pokeballs. Those would be very helpful. So I guess now we're Professor Oak's interns or something? I don't know. Well, I'll show you, Gary. So over here is our rival Gary's house. If we talk to his sister here, we get a map, which is a basic guide to all the various locales of the region. Shows you where you are and your position on the map. It's pretty helpful. Now the Pokédex we got from Oak. It's a bit more advanced than the one from the original Red and Blue, as it can show Pokemon that live in certain habitats, which gives you a clue on where to find them. You can also search them from alphabetical order and whatnot. It's a pretty good Pokédex. So yeah, this basically gives you a guide about all the Pokemon you can encounter in the game. Gives you some statistics about your Pokemon, like what species it is, its height, its weight, what its footprint looks like, and a short description. So for Charmander, it has a preference for hot things. When it rains, steam is said to spout from the tip of its tail. And what it doesn't tell you is that if Charmander's flame goes out, it dies. Rated E for everyone. And by switching to this page, we can see the Pokemon's size compared to the trainer, as well as what area it can be found in. Charmander, of course, cannot be found in the wild, so it's listed as unknown. Down to something like that Pidgey we encountered, we see that its information is blank. You need to catch a Pokemon in order to get all of its information. And if we go over here, we can see that Pidgey can be found in a lot of areas around the region. Oh yeah, the Pokédex is very handy. Go into our bag, we can see all the items we have. There are 3 main pockets to the bag. There's the items slot, which has healing items like potions, as well as some basic equipment like rappels and escape rope. Now over here is the key item pocket, where very important items like the town map are stored, and then the last pocket's where we keep our Pokeballs. I like this bag structure, I think it's pretty good. But with that, it's time to say goodbye to Pallet Town for now, and set off into the world beyond. Okay, so we have a Pidgey here, and I'm going to catch it. I'm not going to use it on my team, but might as well catch it just for the sake of filling up the Pokédex and whatnot. Not going to try to catch every Pokemon this game, but I'm going to try to capture every Pokemon that I have a chance. Just getting anything I see along the way. Because there is a benefit to catching as many Pokemon as you can. I'm not going to use you, so I'm going to... not going to name you. And this is Rattata, the other Pokemon that can be found on this route. It's a normal type, fast, has some decent power, But there are a lot better Pokemon out there than Rattata. I'll catch it anyway for the Pokédex. There we go. Bites anything when it attacks. Small and very quick, it's a common sight in many places. They also like to steal food from stupid travelers. Seriously, I love that joke from the first episode of the anime. So good. Alright, now that we're back in Viridian City, let's go check out the shop, because there's more stuff we can do there now that we have the Pokédex. Alright, once you deliver the parcel to Oak, you can now buy items. Pokeballs are used to catch Pokemon, so I definitely want to have a lot of these. A couple of those. Store your Pokemon's health. Let's buy 2 more of those. Antidotes cure poison, which saps your Pokemon's HP in battle and while you're walking on the overworld. I definitely want some of these because there's some Pokemon coming up that can poison me. Buy about 5 of those. Paralyze Heal heals paralysis, which slows down your Pokemon and gives them a chance of not being able to attack. Let's buy 3 of those. There are Pokemon that can paralyze us coming up ahead. Now, before we go forward up to the next town, I want to go over here to the side. To Route 22. Because there are 2 new Pokemon that we can catch in this area. One of which I want to add to the team because it'll be very helpful in a pretty tough battle coming up. Rathian learned Ember. After Pokemon level up, they can learn new attacks. And this one is definitely one you want to learn. Because this is a fire-type attack. And it's going to be a move that Rathian's going to see a lot of use out of. Now let's see if I can find the thing I want to get. There we are! This is Mankey. It is a fighting Pokemon and I want to catch it for my team because it can cover some of Rathian's weaknesses. So let's just weaken a little bit with Scratch. I don't want to risk Rathian knocking it out with a crit, so let's go for the ball now. Ah. Well, that's good. There we go. Mankey is now ours. So Mankey is a pretty good Pokemon. It's very fast, has high attack power, and it'll be very useful against some opponents coming up. so I want to name you... Actually, wait. There. So now we have Kung Pao the Mankey. Impish nature. That's pretty okay. I mean, it could be a lot worse. Natures are a pretty important part of Pokemon that was introduced in the generation that this game was made for. Natures determine the stat, the growth of the Pokemon that has it. So it gives a 10% boost to one of its stats, while giving a 10% decrease to one of its another one of its stats. And there are some natures that just do nothing. And the boost and the decrease cancel each other out, so it's a neutral nature. For example, my Mankey has a nature that boosts its defense but lowers special attack, which is pretty okay. He's not going to be using any special attacks anyway, and he's pretty frail, so that will help. But there's one other Pokemon we can get in this area. I want to see if we can get it. This Mankey's even stronger than mine. This will be a good chance to get Kung Pao some levels. Ooh, probably want to switch. Your Pokemon gain experience as long as they participate in the battle, so... if Kung Pao is in the battle for even a second, he gets experience. See if we can find this thing. Some pretty bad luck here. An attack on this thing would be rough. Let's switch Kung Pao out. And just while we're training up in the grass, I figure now would be a good time to just kind of go over my experiences with this game and just Pokemon in general. Nice. So, I've known about Pokemon since as far back as I can remember. Like, I was born 2 years before the original Pokemon games were first released in Japan. So, I've always been aware of the series during that time. And eventually, I got my hands on Pokemon Red for the Game Boy. and it was just a fun time. I really loved that game. Got immersed in the world, and all the Pokemon just really appealed to me. And so, because of that, we also got a few more games like Pokemon Gold and whatnot. And then, eventually, I received a copy of Pokemon LeafGreen from my father. And I just really loved it, because it's pretty much a more advanced version of the original Pokemon Red and Blue. Because, let's be honest, Red and Blue have not aged well. Those games are just not put together well. But this more advanced version of the game, it just looks great. It brings in a bunch of mechanics from second generation and third generation games. A lot of the Pokemon are a lot more balanced, and I just really like it. I think the presentation is really good, and the gameplay is still as crisp and as fast as it should be. It's a great game. And one of the best remade games, in my opinion. And while I still play these Pokemon games, Red and Blue, Fire Red and Leaf Green, those ones hold a special place in my heart, just because they're my first experiences with the series. And we're having a pretty tough time finding this one Pokemon. Ah, Kanto fainted. Don't worry, we'll get you healed up, buddy. I'm just using this as a chance to train up my team while I search for this one thing, because there is a battle coming up that can be kinda tough, especially with my current team, so I want to make sure my team has the right levels in order to handle it. I'll be around here somewhere. It just refuses to show up. Stop that, Rattata. Stop that. Yeah. Aw, that is nice. Kung Pao just learned Low Kick. His first fighting type attack. This one's special in that damage it does is based on how heavy the opponent is. So, the heavier the Pokemon, the more damage it does. It's pretty cool. It'll definitely be helpful for some later fights. It's an action against this Mankey. Wow, we got a critical hit. Attacks have a chance of doing a critical hit, which means that the attack's power is doubled. There are some attacks that have an even higher chance of a critical hit, and those moves are really good. So here's the Pokemon I was searching for. Spearow. It's flying type just like Pidgey, yet it has a higher emphasis on speed and attack than Pidgey does, which I think is pretty good. In some ways I prefer Spearow over Pidgey. I like them both, but Spearow has a few advantages over Pidgey that make it pretty fun to use. Ah, shoot. Leave Kung Pao alone. Alright, we caught it. Eats bugs in grassy areas. It has to flap its short wings at high speed to stay airborne. It was a real menace to Ash in the first episode of the anime. This thing was relentless. Spearow would be a pretty good early addition to the team, but I'm gonna stick with what I have right now. I think it's a pretty good team. Now I've got every Pokemon I can find in this area, so why don't we go pay a visit to an old friend of ours? I want to put Raffian in the front for this, because this can be a pretty tough battle. Well, what's this? Hey! Hey! What? Pokemon League? Forget about it! You probably don't have any badges, do you? God will let you through without them. By the way, your Pokemon get any stronger? Oh, don't worry. I'll show you. So yeah, we have a battle with our rival on this route. This is a completely optional battle. You can avoid it if you'd like. I'm going for it because of the experience. Ew, Sand Attack. Towards the accuracy of moves, making it so that I fool with attacks more often. But Raffian getting that crit, so good. We took that Pidgey out without taking any damage. That's so good. Here he's going to be using his Squirtle. She had fared well in the last battle, but I definitely do not want to use her against this thing now. Because this Squirtle will definitely have a water attack, which will deal a lot of damage. I think I want to start off with Leer, lower its defense a bit, because Squirtle's very defensive. Ooh. Okay, good. Take another one of those hits as long as it's not a crit. Potion. Good. Ugh, don't lower my defense. I took out Kung Pao. Let's go for Raffian, even though it's very risky. If I use Ember, it'll do less damage. And Scratch works fine. Good work, Raffian. Ah, you're just lucked out. Whatever you say, man. And off he goes. You're probably wondering what we can find over here. Pokemon League, front gate. Only truly skilled trainers are allowed through. You don't have the Boulder badge yet. Rules are rules, I can't let you pass. So basically, this path leads to the end game. The last area where you fight the toughest trainers in order to prove that you're the best. Basically, that's final boss territory. And we cannot pass through until we acquire the badges we get from all the gym leaders, so... Yep, nothing about that we can do yet. But eventually we will be strong enough to get through there. Yes, heal my team! And before we go any farther, might as well show this off, the PC. There's quite a few features we can do with the PC, the most important of which is if we access someone's PC, we can deposit our Pokemon. We can only carry 6 with us at a time, but we can store them in the PC and pull them out whenever we want. So I want to put away my Rattata, my Pidgey, and my Spearow, since I don't plan on using those guys for now. You can also move the Pokemon around in your box, however you want to. You can also move the items around in that your Pokemon hold. Items are a mechanic that were... Well, hold items were a mechanic that was introduced in Gen 2, where you can make Pokemon hold items, and then they can use them in the middle of a battle. We can access our PC, which is just access our item storage and our mailbox. If your inventory is getting cluttered, you can deposit items away in your PC, so you can save up space. And if we access Professor Oak's PC, he can rate our Pokédex, see how much progress we've made, as well as offer us some advice. So yep, go into patches of grass, look for Pokemon. PCs are definitely helpful. You'll want to check them out as often as you like. What else we have? 4. You know, I think we'll be fine. Well now, I've had my coffee and that's why I need to get going. What's that red box you have? How's you working on your Pokédex? Let me give you a word of advice. Whenever you catch a Pokémon, Pokédex automatically updates its data. Yeah, to catch a Pokémon? I suppose I better show you then. Game Freak, why? Why do you do this? It's not required to talk to this guy in the first generation. Skip this tutorial entirely in the second generation, but for some reason, starting with Gen 3, and this has been a trend that's been going on, even to Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, catching tutorials have always been mandatory to watch. I know how to catch Pokemon. I've been doing this for over 20 years. Oh my god, I am old. That was educational, was it not? And here, take this too. So, this item that the old man just gave me is the TGTV. It's an item that is exclusive to Fire Red and Leaf Green, where you get to watch like short movies talking about the various Pokemon mechanics. It's just very basic stuff to help new players get accustomed to this game. The scenarios are kind of funny, but I have no need for the Teachy TV. Oh, one last thing before we leave. This Pokemon gym's always closed. I wonder who the leader is. Ominous. So we can't go in there now, but perhaps later we'll have to check this out. Now let's head up to Route 2. Probably noticed these trees here. They block our path for some reason. We can't just walk around them. So it's gonna take a while for us to be able to remove them. Thus have access to all those items there, but yeah, we can't do anything about that yet. Move forward. I've caught one, yeah. It's a natural maze in there. Be careful you don't get lost. I'll try. So here we have Viridian Forest, our first instance of a dungeon. I came here with some friends to catch us some bug Pokemon. They're always itching to get into some Pokemon battles. This area has a few new Pokemon that we can catch, one of which I definitely want to add to the team. There's another one that I might get, but it's kind of rare, so I'll only use it if I actually manage to find one and catch it. I love the atmosphere of this forest. It's very interesting. That's a Kakuna. This thing is completely incapable of moving because it's stuck in a cocoon. Therefore, it cannot attack. An easy experience. I should actually put Kung Pao in the front right now. That'd be helpful. We get a Pokeball there. And there we have the first of the Pokemon that you actually want to catch, Weedle. It is a bug poison type, and it has a move called Poison Sting. Poison Sting has a chance of inflicting the poison status on your Pokemon, which will drain their health, be a pain in general. This thing for the Pokedex. I don't really want to use it on my team, though. Yeah. It's kind of a shame. I actually really like Weedle's final form. I think it's a really cool Pokemon, but it's kind of bad at this game. It doesn't really have access to any of the good moves or gens. Its stats are kind of weak. It's just rather underwhelming. Injects poison with its stinger. Quite the interesting little bug. It's not something I really want to use. Better heal up Kung Pao. Took quite the beating. There's another Weedle. This one we can actually fight. Shot is a move that lowers the speed of your Pokemon. Speed determines what order Pokemon attack in battle, so Kung Pao had higher speed than the Weedle, so we got to go first. It's a pretty important stat. Definitely want to... Well, here is our encounter, Caterpie. It's a pure bug type, and it's definitely a helpful one. Which I find kind of underwhelming. Caterpie can actually be very helpful once we catch it. Sure, it's weak now, only has access to Tackle and String Shot, but when it reaches its final form, it's a great Pokemon early into the game. So let's catch you. Its short feet are tipped with suction pads that enable us to tirelessly climb slopes and walls. Alright, I want to make sure I'm spelling this right. Okay. So I'm calling you Margarine. There's a reason why I named her that. We'll be seeing very soon. And let's put her up front so she gets experience. Because I definitely want her to evolve very, very soon. Hey there. I see. So yeah, we mostly encounter bug types in this forest, but luckily for us, Raffian will deal a lot of damage to these things with her fire attacks. So my strategy for this area is going to be have Margarine up front, switching to Raffian, and then having her eliminate whatever we meet. So that Margarine gets experience without having to risk herself in battle. And over here we have some trainers. Trainers can be found pretty much anywhere. They have teams of Pokémon. So you'll have to deal with more than one per battle. They're your main source of money, as well as giving good experience to knock out their Pokémon. Raffian should have no trouble taking these things out. Alright, Margarine gets her first level up. Caterpie can't hack it. Who do you think he is? Keanu Reeves? That was a Matrix reference. Whatever. Forgot to check your nature. Serious. That is one of the neutral natures, so Margarine's pretty basic as far as Caterpies go. That's not to say she's bad, it's just she has no real strengths or weaknesses. Compared to my other Pokemon, Margarine has some pretty low stats. She will get better though. She will get better. Also in terms of abilities, these are also something that were introduced in Gen 3. And they really add a lot of extra depth to the Pokemon. For example, Margarine has Shield Dust, which prevents added effects. So, if she was hit by a move like, say, Poison Sting, she wouldn't get poisoned, which I find very helpful. Kung Pao has Vital Spirit, which prevents sleep. So if he is hit by a move that inflicts sleep, he doesn't get affected by it. And Rappian has Blaze, which ups the damage from her fire attacks if she has less than a third of her health. Can't jam out if you're a Pokemon trainer. Nah, but I want to jam! God. Sorry, but you dug your own grave. Ian's just gonna roast all these bugs and get Margarine all the experience. No. Double nice. And there we go, Rappian just got poisoned. So I believe when a Pokemon is poisoned, they take like 1/12 of their max HP in damage at the end of each turn. And when you're on the overworld, whenever you take 4 steps, your Pokemon will take 1 HP of damage. That's a pretty harmful. Wait, why'd I switch to Weedle? Yeah. Anyway, I want to switch to Margarine because we have a Kakuna here. Kakuna's only attack is Harden, which means Margarine can just fight this thing without any risk of being knocked out. I'm only doing this because, well, when you have more than one Pokemon engage in battle, they split the points among themselves. But I guess this doesn't really matter because Weedle's gonna get experience from this anyway. I didn't really intend to do that, this is just, yeah, kind of annoying. But yeah, I'm just gonna have Margarine whittle this Kakuna down. We're at no risk here. Get most of the experience by herself. Kakuna's defense won't go any higher, so this is its down defensive state. Margarine's still just hacking away at it. That other kid's Caterpie couldn't hack it, but Margarine definitely will. Take that. And like that, Margarine has defeated the dreaded Kakuna all by herself. And Weedle mooches off the because Weedle's a jerk. Margarine. If Margarine got all the experience, she would definitely be very close to evolving now. But someone had to be greedy. Oh, you're timid. That's a bad nature for you. Another reason I should hate you. Yeah, now that Raffion's poison, that's pretty bad. So I want to go into my bag, grab an antidote. I like these little animations showing you administering the potions and whatnot to your Pokemon. I think it adds a bit of personality to these remakes. Very nice. And we got another antidote. Very nice. So let's see what else we can find up here. Hello. I might be little, but I won't like it if you go easy on me. That's fine by me. I always go hard and fast. Wait. Margarine could... I'm not gonna take any risks here. Let's just go for Raffian. Oh, boo, nothing went right. What are you talking about? My Pokemon got more experience. I think that's pretty right to me. Ooh, we are one battle away from getting Margarine leveled up. That's very good. So we can find one more person to battle, that would be excellent. What we got here? Little Caterpie. I think Margarine can handle this by herself. More. A little more. More hit should do it. Go. Now that Margarine reaches level 7, she is evolving. When you fulfill certain conditions for the Pokemon, such as getting them to a certain level, they can evolve into an entirely new Pokemon. In this case, Margarine has evolved into Metapod. As you can see, Margarine has a pretty decent defense stat in this form. Her other stats are kind of bleh. And her abilities change to shed skin. It is pretty helpful. It can remove status condition in battle, which is pretty helpful. So yep, Margarine's got a new form, which will just be very helpful to her. So let's put Kung Pao in front so he can get some experience for these upcoming challenges. I'm not using low kick against these bugs because fighting attacks get resisted by bug and poison, so it's just not worth it. Hey kid, you know that Pokemon evolved? Charlie, you cannot have battled me at a worse time. So he's got a Metapod, which should be fairly easy to take out. Let Kung Pao handle this kid's entire team by himself. He needs the experience. He really does. Oh, how's your day been? It's been pretty good. Bought some new jeans today. Because my old ones are getting pretty tight. Have you ever noticed that Metapod kind of looks like a croissant? Ah, thank God it's dead. Ooh, that was awkward. Yeah, Kung Pao gets another level, which is good. Got a Caterpie. Fine by me. Yeah, just keep lowering my speed. I don't care. There we go. And we got another Metapod. This is gonna take a while. So, how's the weather? It's pretty cold up where I live right now. That's not really good for all the birds. So I hear there's gonna be a new Nintendo Direct in a couple of days. Sounds exciting. Oh, thank God we got a crit. Thank you, Kung Pao. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Nah, I lost. We're almost out of this forest, just a little bit more to go. Time to test out Marjorie's new form in battle. Obviously, as you would expect, Metapod has much higher defense than Caterpie. Marjorie's really good at taking hits. I mean, as well as a Cocoon can. In the end, she's still pretty weak. But in only 3 more levels, she is going to become really good. So let's grab this. A potion. Nice. Now I won't feel guilty for what I'm about to do. because we have one more trainer up ahead. He doesn't have a big team, so I'm not too worried. Hey, wait up! What's the hurry? Why the rush? I kind of wish this kid had a pincer, like the samurai from the anime. I just really like that guy. I wish he would appear more than just... Theo Margarine can handle this Weedle. If Margarine doesn't get poisoned, we should be fine. A crit. Of course you get a crit, and you get the poison. Thank you. Margarine has a chance of removing the poison from her body. It's kind of a low chance, I think 30%. So we're just going to... if he manages to get that off. Yeah, no, this isn't working out. Let's finish this thing off with Kung Pao. Raffian has already gotten a lot of use in this area. Almost got it. One more hit. Why would you use String Shot? I'm already slower than you. There. Bye-bye. I give! You're good at this! Damn right I am. Yes, that takes care of this kid. Margarine fainted. Yep, that's risk of poison. I'm not gonna bother healing her because the next town is right up ahead, so there's no reason for that. Pewter City. Thank you for waiting. Hey, look at this thing. Wonder what it does. What? What happened? Did I fall asleep? That was weird. Oh, man. Okay. Now what I want to do now... get rid of this Weedle because you're not useful to me at all. And let's go check out the town, because there's quite a bit to see here. Yeah, Pokemon get easier to catch if you can inflict a status ailment on them. There aren't many serious Pokemon trainers here. They're all like bug catchers, you know, just hobbyists. But Pewter's Gym's Brock isn't like that, not one bit. Huh, Brock. Sounds like a rough guy. You know what I'm doing? No. I'm spraying Repel to keep wild Pokemon out of my garden. Fascinating. If we try to leave the town that way, that guy will stop us. Yeah. Pretty great. we have a new shop here, so let's check out their inventory. There's actually quite a few new things. Awakening awakens a sleeping Pokemon. We don't need that right now. Burn Heal heals the burn status. Lower the Pokemon's attack stat, and deals damage very similar to poison. Escape Rope allows you to escape from a dungeon instantly, which is very helpful. And Repel keeps us from encountering Pokemon that are lower level than us for a certain amount of time. These can be very handy. I don't need them right now, though. I think I am gonna buy some more Pokeballs. Buy 3 more. Buy some... well, 1 potion. Sheesh, we really don't have a lot of money now. It's it, the museum. You have to pay it again, but it's worth it. Thank you. Jerk. Okay, nothing here. Can't go in that way because of the tree. Nidoran, sit! Ow, ow! Our Pokemon's an outsider, so it's finicky and hard to handle. An outsider's a Pokemon you get in a trade. Grows fast, but it may ignore an unskilled trainer in battle. If only we had some badges. Yeah, it's kind of the risk of using Pokemon that used to belong to someone else. Sometimes they don't listen to you. Now, I'm pretty sure around here we find a Pokeball. Nice. So let's go check out this museum they were just talking about. Oh, use up all my money for this, but worth it. Aerodactyl fossil, a primitive and rare Pokemon. I should be grateful for my long life. Never did I think I'd get to see the bones of a dragon. Kabutops, a primitive and rare Pokemon. I
want a Pikachu, it's so cute! Ask my daddy to catch me one!
Yeah, Pikachu soon, I promise. Hey, Shuttle. This month, we're running a space exhibit. It's pretty cool. I always had a fascination for just anything that's beyond our world. You're right, that fell on Mount Moon. It's thought to be a moonstone. Moonstone, huh? What's so special about it? Looks like an ordinary rock to me. July 20th, 1969. Humankind first set foot on the moon that day. I bought a color TV just so I could watch that news. Man, I can't even imagine what that must have been like. Able to see the first ever landing on the moon with your very own eyes, just... man. Sometimes I feel like I was born too late to really get to know the world. A fairy came from the moon, that's what the rumor is. They appeared after moonstones fell on Mount Moon. Over here is the gym. Peter Brock, the rock-solid Pokemon trainer! Don't fight him now, but our team is kind of weak. I'm gonna do some short training before we... Specifically, I want to train Kung Pao. Wait, let's see what Marjorie's experience is like now. Not bad, I might get you up one more level before we go into the gym. I definitely want to get her some more experience. That's very close to finally being a helpful addition to the team. So now let's train up Kung Pao. want to get a couple levels before this gym. Probably stop around level 10 or something. Because we got ourselves some very tough battles ahead of us, and if Kung Pao can't take out these foes, then our journey's gonna stop here. While this training is going on, recently I decided to try out a game called Subnautica, and just, wow, I really love the game. Like, the game is about getting marooned on this alien planet that's mostly covered in water. So you're basically stuck in the middle of this giant ocean, and you're forced to gather resources underwater from coral reefs and caves and whatnot just to be able to survive. Eventually you can build like an underwater base, and you pretty much just explore this vast ocean, trying to search for survivors, gathering resources in order to better your life there. It's just a really fun game. I really like the emphasis on exploration, as well as the survivalist aspects of it. And the story is kind of depressing, honestly, because it really makes you feel isolated in this world, where the only other creatures you're able to interact with all want you dead. So, yeah, it's been a pretty fun experience, and I'm really enjoying it. And when I'm not playing games, I usually catch up on series on YouTube or some streams on Twitch that I'm really into. Like, I'm a big fan of channels like Chugga Conroy, Maryland, Game Grumps, Team 4 Star, Brain Scratch Commentaries, the Super Gaming Brothers, some call me Johnny. So I think those are all some very good content creators to follow and watch. Especially Maryland and Chugga, because they're just very nice people. Very friendly and jovial. They just really make me smile every time I watch their videos. Should only take a few more battles. I just wish we encounter some higher level Pokémon, because the experience you get from battles is proportionate to both the species of the Pokémon you're encountering as well as their level. So generally, the stronger Pokémon, the more experience you get by beating them. That's just so weak. I need to go heal up Kung Pao now. But this should be the last round of training we have to do. While I'm at it, might as well do this. Of course, save your game, save your progress. Because I've been going at this for over an hour. Well, that kind of spoiled what I was set up here. Yes, it's an emulator. Yes, I have a copy of Pokémon LeafGreen, capable of streaming it as it is. So I figure I might as well go for the next best thing. Use Visual Boy Advance. I mean, the thing with emulators is that I feel like it's okay to emulate a game if you already own it. Like, if you paid the money for that game, and you just want to, so that you can play it on your PC, I think that's fine. By the way, there's still one other Pokemon that we could have gotten in Viridian Forest. I'm not really that desperate to catch it now because we can find it later in the game. And for anyone who doesn't know, that Pokemon is, of course, Pikachu, the mascot of the series. I mean, it's very helpful. It's an electric type, which would be very useful against these Pidgeys and Spearow we've been encountering. I just don't think it's overly necessary with my current team. I mean, I would have caught it if I encountered one in the back there in the forest, but I didn't, so I'm gonna get one more level for Margarine, and then I think I'm going to call it for this training session. And we'll go take on the gym. Oh yeah. Now this Pidgey was a bit more heft to it. This could be bad. Using Sand Attack. Come on, Margarine. Need to prove to this Pidgey that you're the superior Pokemon. Come on. Ooh. That's a crit. Probably take one more hit. Nah, this is going nowhere fast. Champion, get out here. Thank you. Man, couldn't even beat one Pidgey. Margarine, you really need to step up your game. Alright, let's try this again. And maybe this time, Marjorie can actually take someone out on her own. There, see? We have a Caterpie. Marjorie, you should definitely be able to take this one. There you go, you managed to KO a Caterpie. Very good, Margarine. I'm proud of you. I mean, I could try training in the forest. We have a chance of encountering Metapod and Kakuna, which would put up very little fight. Margarine would easily get a lot of experience from that, but I'm fine with this setup. On. Alright, one more battle should do it. And then we'll go take on the gym. I'm starting to get kind of hungry. But at least now Margarine is level 8. So hopefully, this gym goes well. Alright. Hiya! You want to dream big? You dare to dream of becoming the Pokémon champ? I'm no trainer, but I can advise you on how to win. Let me take you to the top. Alright, let's get happening. The first Pokémon out of match is at the left of the Pokémon list. Like changing the order of Pokemon, you may gain an advantage. Try different orders to suit your opponent's party. Yeah, gyms are a recurring facility within the series. They feature some trainers that are a bit stronger than the ones you're accustomed to meeting on the roads. At the very end, you fight a gym leader, who serves as the main challenge for that area. You have some pretty strong teams, and if you manage to beat them, you get a badge. Current team, yeah, I want to lead with Margarine so she gets a bit more experience. Stop right there, kid. You're 10,000 light years from facing Brock. I'm not even going to go into just what is wrong with what that kid said. It said, we're gonna fight him. He has a Geodude. This is a ground type. Margarine is definitely outclassed against this thing. Let's go with Kung Pao. Tickets! Yeah, this is why I decided to catch Kung Pao. Since Geodude's a rock type, it is resistant against pretty much all the Pokemon that we can find. Point. And he's a fighting type, he can easily handle Geodude. And now Liam is sending out a Sandshrew.
Oh, look at it, it's so cute!
It's a pure ground type. Very defensive, focuses on physical attack. Pretty decent this stage of the game. Just in this thing with Margarine, that's good. That's very good. And let's go to Rappian. Because despite being a ground type, Sandshrew doesn't really learn a lot of ground moves by level up. It does get some moves by TM, but yeah. I don't know what they were thinking with Sandshrews moveset in this game. I mean, we may eventually see an actually decent Sandshrew sometime in the future. Hint, hint. But for now, that does it. Darn! Light years isn't time, it measures distance! I want to go heal up. Because this next fight is going to be tough. Oh, Margarine is 7 experience away from leveling up. Let's go fix that before we hit up the gym. Seriously. All times to be 7 experience away from leveling up, it has to be now. Come on, Margarine, let's cap you off. There we go. One more level and then Margarine will finally be able to spread her wings. But for now, we got a gym battle to win. I'm gonna lead with Kung Pao. As much as I would love to get Margarine some extra experience, I need to take this fight incredibly seriously. As you may want to do, you should probably save before an important battle. Let's go for Brock. So, you're here. I'm Brock. I'm Pewter's gym leader. My rock-hard willpower is evident even in my Pokémon. My Pokémon are all rock-hard and have true grit determination. That's right, my Pokémon are all the rock type. Really? From the sound of it, I thought you trained fairy types. Ha! You're gonna challenge me knowing you'll lose? That's the trainer's honor that compels you to challenge me. Fine then, show me your best! Leader Brock would like to battle. I really love this character in the anime, he's definitely one of the best. And with Geodude. Go right at this thing with low kick. Oh, that's not as much damage as I would have liked. This thing is higher level, but I thought Kung Pao would have been able to. Whatever. Still have a good chance of taking this thing out. Geodude misses, which is very handy. And with that, we've beaten Geodude. Now Brock is sending out Onyx. Giant rock ground type made entirely of rocks. Let's see how this goes. Decent hit. Oh, nice. So yeah, this fight made me pretty worried at first because, well, if Kung Pao was unable to beat the gym, I would have to fall back on Karate Chop. I'd have to fall back in. The thing is, Brock's Onyx knows Rock Tomb, which is a rock attack which would do a lot of damage to Rathian, so I took you for granted, and so I lost. Don't you mean granite? As proof of your victory, I confer on you this, the official Pokemon League Boulder Badge. Doesn't seem much bolder than the other ones I've seen. Having the Boulder Badge makes your Pokemon more powerful. It also enables the use of the move Flash outside of battle. Of course, a Pokemon must know the move Flash to use it. Give me your money. Wait, take this with you. TM39. A TM, technical machine, contains a technique from Pokemon. Using a TM teaches the move it contains for Pokemon. A TM's good for only one use, so when you use one, pick the Pokemon carefully. Anyway, TM39 contains Rock Tomb. It hurls boulders at the foe and lowers its speed. There are all kinds of trainers in this huge world of ours. You appear to be very gifted as a Pokemon trainer. So let me make a suggestion. Go to the gym in Cerulean and test your abilities. I shall. And a fun little tidbit, if you examine these statues, our name gets engraved on it. Of course, Gary was here before us because of course he did. Yeah, we just beat the first major boss of the game. Now before we go, I want to buy a couple of items. This next area has an area coming up has a lot of battles, so I want to be properly stocked for this. Buy a bunch of potions, and that'll do. Don't worry, we'll get plenty of money. Let's go heal up at the center, and then we'll make our way forward. Alright, we're ready to go. Now that guy is gone, now that we've beaten Brock, this guy. Oh hey, glad I caught up to you. I'm Professor Oak's aide. I've been asked to deliver this, so here you go. We finally get the running shoes. This was an item introduced in Ruby and Sapphire, and it is awesome. Because now we can run! I felt so awkward being able to walk, having to walk everywhere. God, it was just so slow, but now we can run. This is great. And we have another route up in the mountains. Alright. why don't we challenge these trainers? There's a lot of people in this area to fight, and I definitely want to fight them to get experience for my team. I've got a pretty tough area coming up before we can get to Cerulean City. And I definitely want to train up Margarine. These Pidgeys are high enough level to get Gust, which is a flying attack. And yeah, I definitely don't want to leave Margarine or Kung Pao out against these things. Of course, these things give a lot of good experience for Margarine, so we'll send her out for this. She is very close to getting that thing that I really, really want. So I hope Raffian can hit Pidgey. Ah, my eyes! I really don't like it when these Pidgeys use their pocket sand on me. It's so rude. That takes care of that one. There should be one more to fight. Or that's it. You're mean! No, I'm Hay. Okay, this next guy shouldn't be much trouble. Hey, I saw you in Viridian Forest. Man, this kid kept their Caterpie in this form at level 10. You're such a jerk. But yeah, Mr. could easily be able to handle this. So, of course you get a crit on me, because why wouldn't you? Yeah, just a little bit more. I think once I'm done this route, I'm gonna call it for this stream, because we've been going on for quite a while and there's some other stuff I want to do today. Alright, next up is Weedle. Margarine can't take this thing out. I can always switch to Ian. Margarine is very close to finally getting what I've wanted her to get. Time, so hopefully this goes well. This thing uses poison, and I'm gonna use a potion. No! Margin, why? Gonna have to run back to the center after this fight. Long last, Margarine is level 10. And you still have one more Pokemon. Oh my god, Raffian, kill it! You beat me again! Yes, I did. And now Margarine is evolving. That's what I like about Caterpie and Weedle, is that they evolve really early. And at long last... Margarine evolved into Butterfree! Get it? Her name is Margarine and she's Butterfree. I hate my life. And she learns Confusion. This is a Psychic type attack and a very good one to have at this point in the game. It'll be very effective against any fighting and poison types we encounter going forward. And just look at those stats, that is beautiful. Second highest offensive stat on the team. The highest defensive stat on the team. And she's the second fastest. She has a great ability in Compound Eyes, which we're going to see more of in the very near future. Seriously, that is a great update. I'll go into specifically why it is great on Butterfree once we get some better moves. Because Margarine is going to become oh so helpful once she gains a few more levels. Also, she is now a bug flying type, which is pretty okay. It has a lot of weaknesses, but we don't really have to worry too much about that. For this kid, I think I want to lead with Kanto, because I remember his team. Hi, I like shorts. They're delightfully comfy and easy to wear. And of course, it's the meme kid. Youngster Ben. The kid that spawned the shorts meme. While I'm at this, might as well stop this new move. Karate Chop. Yeah, Kung Pao is going to be dishing out so much damage now with that new attack. And Youngster Ben sending out Ekans. I want to switch to Margarine for this. Ah, she's so cute. Because Ekans is a poison type. It has Intimidate, but that's not going to affect Margarine at all. Confusion. Isn't that beautiful? That is some very good damage. The Ekans just used Wrap on me, but thankfully Wrap was heavily nerfed between Gen 1 and Gen 3, so it's not as big of a pain as it was back then. I don't believe it! I know, right? That they balanced a move that was unbelievably broken? Yeah. While I'm at it, let's check out Kung Pao's new attack, because it's a good one. Karate Chop has 50 base power and a high critical hit rate. As if Kung Pao wasn't already good enough, now we got a decent powered attack that also has a high chance of doubling its power. It is so good. Are you a trainer? Let's get with it right away. I mean, whatever you say, kid. Huh. Oh well. Now that Margarine's evolved, she is just going to dominate all these Pokemon. She was pretty difficult to use at first, but now that she's evolved, she's just so good. I love Butterfree, it's one of my favorite bug types. Even though later generations introduce a lot of better bug types, Butterfree's always had a special place in my heart. Metapod. This one will be no trouble at all. If I had new Pokemon, I would have won. By new Pokemon, do you mean like Maxorus or Mudsdale? But sadly, they're not in this game. Alright, let's see what you've got. That look you gave me, it's so intriguing. I'm staring at the wall. Where this route has just so many great quotes. Ooh, that's a close one. Ardren, you can fit this next one out. Against that Nidoran too. Rappian, you can handle this one. Nidoran. It's a poison type with an ability that makes it so that if you make direct contact with it, you have a chance of getting poisoned. They're pretty cute. And surprisingly, you can get their final form really quickly. They're very good Pokemon. I'm probably not going to use one on my team, but they're still good. Just learned Metal Claw. Oh, hush. So this move is kind of interesting. Charmander only learns this attack in this game. This is kind of there as like a countermeasure against Brock's team, because Steel-type attacks do high damage against Fire-type. Steel does high damage against Rock-types. So if you decide not to go with Mankey for your team, this can be a pretty solid move to use in order to get past Brock's Pokemon. Because otherwise, Charmander's gonna struggle in that fight. Bulbasaur and Squirtle don't really have that issue since their attacks do so much damage. Rock ground types. But Charmander definitely struggles. Alright, I'm gonna go heal up, then we're going to continue. Alright, now this next guy is actually pretty strong. By the way, if you search that dark patch of grass there, you get a berry. They're items that were technically introduced in Gen 2, but they were refined this generation. Berry, if Pokemon holds it, it will automatically use it when its health is low to restore HP. Probably not going to use that now, but still good. And we also got the TM Pocket with Rock Tomb. We could potentially teach that to someone on the team, but I'm not going to now. I'm going to use Raffian for this one, because I remember this kid having a pretty strong Pokemon that is... I don't know, kid. Yeah, this kid has a Spearow, and it can do a lot of damage to my Mankey and my Butterfree, so I figured I'd go with Raffian against it. There we go, we've taken out Spearow. Lost! 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 I remember that show. It was weird. Alright, let us... Here. Got another bug catcher to get through. I'll battle you with the Pokemon I just caught. This should be interesting. What exactly did you catch, James? Oh, that's adorable. Kung Pao, take out the trash. Ow. What am I talking about? That did so little damage. I'd rather not dilly-dally here. Raffian, take it out. Raffian is actually only a few levels away from evolving, which will be really good. The extra stats will definitely help out in the next area we're gonna go to. Done like dinner! Dinner. Alright, let's see what you've got, Missy.
Did you touch me?
Oh, God. Here I was hoping I would go through today without getting slapped with a sexual harassment lawsuit. Got a Jigglypuff. A pretty rare Pokemon, whose main gimmick is that it has a lot of HP. See, it just survived that attack. And it's got some interesting support moves. Mostly Sing with Sleep. Kung Pao just annihilates this thing. That's it! Route 4 is at the foot of Mount Moon. There are some Pokemon we could catch in this area, but we can also get them much later, so it's not gonna really hunt them at the moment. Hello. I better take a rest. That tunnel from Cerulean takes a lot out of you. But if I remember correctly, if we just go down the Pokedex here, yeah, Ekans we cannot get in this game. It's an example of what you called a version exclusive. You can find them in Fire Red, but not Leaf Green. We can get Sandshrew. Nidoran is... yeah, it's found in this area, but it can also be found somewhere else, so we don't really need to worry too much about it. Sandshrew we can't get until later, but I definitely want to keep that in mind. Jigglypuff can only be found in this area, so for the sake of filling up our Pokédex, because I definitely want to get as many Pokemon as I can, I'm going to try and get ourselves a Jigglypuff in this area. They're kind of rare, so not expecting this to be too good. We got Geodude also coming up, and Onix isn't going to be for quite a while, so... Alright, let's start hunting. Nice work, Kung Pao. Switch you out for Margarine. If Margarine had a few more attacks, this would be whole process a bit easier, because Margarine gets some attacks that are very helpful for catching Pokemon. As it stands, though, she's a good damage dealer. But there's still those Pokemon that I really want to find here. Especially Jigglypuff. And there it is! It's level 3, so it's kinda weak, but hopefully this is enough. There we go. And there's Sing in action. It just put Margarine to sleep. Makes you unable to attack for a few turns. Be a little annoying. Alright, let's go for our Pokeballs now. And there we go, we caught a Jigglypuff. When its huge eyes waver, it sings a mysteriously soothing melody that lulls its enemies to sleep. Sadly, Jigglypuff is not a fairy type in this game, so it's just a generic run-of-the-mill normal type. Do good either. Its only attack right now is Sing. It doesn't get much better attacks until way later in the game. I do like Jigglypuff, though. It has a lot of character and charm to it that I just really like in a Pokemon. Didn't encounter any Nidorans, but again, we can get them later in the game, so it's not too big of a worry. Here, kid. Hey. Ow! I tripped over a rocky Pokemon! Geodude! Over here is another patch of grass where we can get a Persimberry. That cures confusion, if I remember correctly. Hello there, laddie! Have I got a deal just for you? I'll let you have a secret Pokemon, a magic card, for just $500. You'll buy it? I'm not going to. Simply put, Magikarp is a Pokemon that will have an opportunity to catch much later on in the game. And quite honestly, Magikarp is absolutely pathetic. It has very low stats, except for speed. The one we get from this guy is level 5, which you wouldn't expect to be too much of a problem, but its only move until level 15 is Splash, which does no damage. It's a complete joke. The only reason you'll ever want to buy a Magikarp from this guy is so you have earlier access to Magikarp's evolution. But even then, it's just so... It's a slog in order to get Magikarp evolved that it's just not worth it to invest in this guy. Team Rocket attacks Cerulean citizens. Not a day goes by without Team Rocket being in the news. Sometimes you have too many Pokemon with you to add any more. In that case, you should just store them using the PC. I know, right? And I'll definitely want to do that for next time, because it's quite a few Pokemon we can get in the next area. So let's put you away. That's going to do it for this stream. We managed to start our journey, managed to beat our first gym, build a pretty decent team overall, with Margarine, Kung Pao, and Raffian. So I'd say it's a pretty good stopping point. We got ourselves a dungeon coming up, and beyond that is Cerulean City, the site of the next gym. So I think this is where I'm going to call it. Next time on Pokemon LeafGreen, we're going to challenge Mount Moon and deal with the challenges within. Until then, have a good day and take care.